Recording started. This is about chapter 2. We will start with expressions. We will cover scanner, how to take input from the user as well. So what is an expression? Can anyone tell? What is an expression? No one? Expression like you 2 plus 2, 5 times 4. So what this is an expression, right? So when we ask for a definition or how you tell that this is an expression is basically a combination of operators and operands. So when what is an operator and what is an operand? Um, and operators are like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and we have relational operators, we have logical operators, different types of operators in Java. And the operands are, for example, if you're saying 2 plus 3, this 2 and 3 is operand, and these are known as operand. And sorry, 2 and 3. In this equation, 2 and 3 is operand. And what's the operator? This plus addition symbol is the operator. So the combination of operands and operator makes it a expression. So in Java, when it comes to evaluating an expression or dealing with the expressions, you can put those expressions into variables as well. So what is a variable? You have heard of variables in Python as well. So what is a variable? In a simple one-line definition, how would you describe that this is a variable? Anyone? No one? I didn't see anything in the chat. Okay.
I think it's an object that you named it and then you're gonna use it after this, maybe?
Object is a very big term you're using. So when, because as you know, Java is an object-oriented programming. So object is a very big word. So don't say objects with, just like in a statement, we sometimes call it like, just like from our English grammar, we call this is an object, this phone is an object, this laptop is an object, right? But in Java, when you are explaining a code or when you're talking about something, object is a very big term, which we will discuss a little piece of it today when we are talking about scanner. So variables have nothing to do with the objects, okay? So variables are just like a store value used by the program. Yes, that's Colin, that's correct. Just a temporary location in Java, in your memory. So at the back, you're like, hey, temporary, hold this. You're like, hey, A, hold this 5 for me or hold this 4 for me, and I'll come back to you, right? And then you're like, hey, B, you're a variable, hold this 7 for me, and I'll come back to you. And then later you say, hey, A plus B, do this, and like, whatever the expression you are creating. So why we are calling it a variable? That, for example, on the next step, you're like, hey, A, you are equals to 8. Okay, I don't mind, I will be 8. I changed my mind. A, you're equals to 4 times whatever, 56 is. That's what you are. A is continuously changing, as you can see on every statement. So when I print A over here, what will be, which A will be printed? What do you think? Which A will be printed? Line
Last
number.
one. Four
The
times.
last one, yes, exactly, the last one, because you are continuously updating that A. So A is a variable who is changing its value as you are asking, like it's temporary holding a value. So as you say A, you do this, A, you are now this, A is changing because A is a variable. Now in Python, you have seen that this is how you create variables, right? You just give it a variable name that you are A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, whatever. And then you say equal, you use this equal assignment operator. That's this equal in programming language is known as assignment operator, that you're assigning this right side value to the left side value. So you're saying this is how you do it in Python, but in Java, it's totally different. So what we do in Java is you define the data types. What is a data type? data types are, how would you define that? You need to tell compiler, if you're saying A, what this A is capable of holding. So as I am, for example, taking or asking age from user, so what do you think will A this hold, with this A will hold? If this in my mind, back in my mind is like A will hold or ask age of the person, what do you think the value A can hold? Can A hold 4.7 is the age? You can use the chat and say yes and no. No, right? Can I say A, you are equals to hello world? Because I want this A to hold age of that person. So age can only be an integer value, a whole number. So in Java, if you cannot define, as you can see, when I was doing A equals to B or 4, there was continuously red cross on this side, which means this is not the syntax. So what's the syntax to define a variable? You tell the data type. For me, A will be int. Int mean it will be integer. Integers hold 0 to all the whole numbers, negative and positive. So A, int A, you are equals to 45. So if you do A, you are equals to 45.5, as you can see, there is a red cross that no. In Java, this A is supposed to hold an int value, and it must be an int value. As you can see, int is in red, it means it's a keyword. Now I want to ask the GPA of the person. What do you think the data type will be? The GPA. Can it be, GPA can be A, B, like this, like, alphabet grades? No. Can GPA be a string? Can GPA be an integer, just an integer? If you do in Java, if you do GPA as just integer, it will discard if the student GPA is 3.9. If you ask, hey, Alex, what's your GPA? It will say 3. The reason is you said that GPA data type is int, and it has removed the decimal number after this. And now Alex display GPA will be 3, which is not correct, right? He's receiving a 3.9 GPA. So GPA will be double. Double is the data type for the GPA. That's what you need to think when you are defining or writing a code, that what data type for what variable will be more suitable. So if I say double, double is same as float. The only difference between double and float is double can carry the bigger range of values and numbers in Java. You can also do float as well. So you can say double, I'm doing ABC, which is not right. If this is representing age, variable name must be readable. ABC, writing ABC is not a good way of writing the variable names, because after maybe after 2 weeks, you're going back to your code, you don't know what this ABC was. If you write age, GPA, then you can see, yeah, it's age and GPA. GPA will be 3.6. Then we can say, I want to ask the name. Now, what name do you think? Name. Which data type? So these are all the data types. What data type is this? Is the data type for this age variable is integer. For data type for this GPA is double, which mean decimal numbers. All the decimal numbers goes in the double. And when it comes to asking a name, I'm asking for the name. It will be a string data type. And I will say string name, you are equals to, let's say, Sam, maybe. And all, as you can see, all the Java statements end with a semicolon. So make sure that you put a semicolon at the end. As you can see, I was putting semicolon. If you don't put semicolon, there will be an error. Name Sam. So now I want to print. So let's print system.out .println. I will say, I will add a statement along with the variable. So how you do it, I will say my name is, now after is space, I want to print the name, right? I cannot say Sam. I don't know what that name variable is holding. So outside of this double quotation marks. So inside of double quotation marks, we all know it will print as it is. But outside, to differentiate, I will use this plus symbol. This over here means a concatenation operator, which means join whatever you have next. So it means there is a variable coming next to it. And what's the variable name? My name is, who knows the name? Which variable? So I will be writing the variable name, which is name. Then I will use a concatenation operator again and do double quotation marks. And I want to print something more, which is like a full stop. My name is this. And then my age is, then again, we need a space, right? And this is print as it is after double quotation marks, concatenation operator. And who knows the age? Which variables knows the age? I'm just closing this project explorer so I have more space for you guys to see. Who knows the age? It's the age variable. And then concatenation operator again. As you can see, when I'm writing a variable, they both are on the both side. I have this concatenation operator. Same here. When you have a variable name, both sides will have a concatenation operator when you have more statement coming. If this is the last one, I'm not writing anything, then it will be a no concatenation operator. Okay. Only if I have more to say. So I do have more to say. I'm writing about my GPA, and my GPA is space concatenation operator. Who knows the GPA? My GPA variable. And oopsie. Let me end this statement with a semicolon. You just need to make sure before you run, there are no red cross on this side so that there are no errors and you can easily run your code. Run. My name is Sam, my age is 45 and my age is 3.6. Oh, sorry, my GPA is 3.6. Any questions so far on the data types and the concatenation operator? So concatenation operator is used for string with an integer or a variable or a decimal. So you can use concatenation operator like this as well, system.out.println, and you're like, oops, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna write this is a sum of 2 plus 2. And then you're like, what do I do? Concatenation operator. And then over here, you can say 4, and then you put a semicolon at the end. And it's just this, you know, it just prints 4 afterwards, and sum of 2 plus 2, let's see, equals 4, like this. Like concatenation operator is basically used for anything which don't have double quotation marks. So anything which is not a string, you're like outside making it a string, and you're like, you know, using it as a variable, calling variable names and stuff like that. And whatever comes after it, it means concatenate. Concatenate means join. So whatever after it's just join. So as this was a variable, it takes the value and join it with the string. Takes the value, it's a variable, takes the value and join it with the string. Any question at this point? Any questions? No?
I have a question. In the previous one, I just run the code is welcome to Java. So how do I separate the both codes? Can you suggest me?
Like another file you're saying?
Yes.
So you just create a new class. Let me show you my project explorer. So this is your project. If you want, as this was week 1, you can say file, new Java project, and create a separate project as week 2 and create your file. Otherwise, just right click on your project, say new and say class, and then follow the whole step, like just like the previous for the first class you did. Write a name that this is operators, and then say okay. You can say operators, you can say finish, and this is your operators.java class. Now you can start writing your code on operators over here. And at the top, you have separate tabs, which you can switch from your previous one, and all of the rest of your files are over here. As you can see, test.java was not printed, so it's here. This is the other one. This is the other one. And all the Java files are listed on this file. Is that what you were asking for? Is that what you were asking for? Hello, who was it? Okay, any other questions so far? No?
I see the last part for the system development on the GPA position. I can't see because I have some errors.
You have errors on this side, make sure you check the concatenation operator and double quotation marks.
Okay.
Here, this is my whole code for this part. So you may get error if you're, as I was mentioning, as you have ended your string. This was a string. Everything that is a string you want to print as it is will go inside of a double quotation marks. Close the double quotation marks, then concatenation operator, then variable name, then concatenation operator, then double quotation marks, string, and check all this. Okay, so when I got anything that does
What's
not
wrong?
contain the main type. Aradhana, make sure that you check. You have a main method. This is the main method you need in every class. Without the main method, it will not run. So if you want to share your screen, we can take a look. Why did you add 2 + 2 at the end with GPA? Where? It's just an example I was sharing. 2 + 2 was the example that you can do just like this as well. Like it does not have to be variables. You can directly print 4 with the concatenation operator as well. Andrew, you have an error and now. Okay, you guys can share your screen. Let me allow the screen share so we can take a look.
Can you see my screen?
So there is another curly braces you need to add. So take your mouse and as I mentioned, take a look at the numbers on your left side, right? So one line numbers, and take your mouse and read the error on that red cross. Up, 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 line number 11, take your mouse. What it says syntax error,
Oh.
insert a curly braces. So now you
Okay.
need to add a curly braces just after the other curly braces. Yeah, just like that. Now run
Okay.
and it's gonna work. Now Andrew was sharing it. Okay, Aradhana, now you can share your screen. Okay, so now we'll start the most important topic, which is scanner. This topic will stay with you through Java 2. Well, though all of the topics will stay with you till Java 2, because as you're learning, everything will be building like a blocks. So it's not like in week 3, you will be like, hey, I don't remember variables, or I don't want to work with variables. This will go along with it, along with the new topic coming your way. Okay, so scanner is used. What is a scanner? What is it used for? It's used for taking input from user. As long you have seen, we have been assigning. This is known as default assigning. Default assigning means that I am giving these variables some numbers or values, which is not right. I should be making this as variables, right? Yeah, kind of variable where the value, whenever I run my code, and these variables should have a new value. So for example, just like a calculator. So if I'm creating a calculator, A + B, every time I run, it should take some new values, right? So, but according to my code, I have to go in my code, change the values again and again, then run, and then, see the output. So I'm removing this last line as this is of no use right now. That was just an example. So there are a couple of steps to take value from user. Again, this is Java. It's going to be hideous as compared to Python. Python was simple, easy, but not like in Python, when you have to take input, it was just the input command you write. But in Java, it's different. Outside of the class, everyone go outside of the class, take your cursor before where it says public class, whatever your class name is. Your cursor must be blinking where my cursor is blinking, okay, before the class. We have to import java.util.scanner. Oops. As you say dot, it's gonna show you all the list of the classes you can import, and we will be importing scanner, so it's capital S. So that's why there was an error when I said first no. So java.util, util is the utility package already built in Java classes, and scanner is the one who's gonna help us take input from the user. So first we need to, if you're taking input from user, you need to import java.util.scanner. Now, as this is imported, all the import file goes outside of the class, outside of the class. Now, inside of the class, inside of your main method, this is the curly braces, starting curly braces of my main, right? Right after this, everyone come below, just below your main method, inside of the curly braces, you have to create the scanner object. Now, as one of the student mentioned at the very start about the variable being an object, so object, this is what objects are. When it comes to the object-oriented programming languages, we have classes and now you have objects. So you have been working with the class for so long, right? You're creating a class file, new class. So these are all the classes you are creating. Classes are like blueprints. Now, this scanner is also a class. So there is a coding behind it, and you can check the coding by going into the scanner utility package, and you can check all the code. It's going to be a big code. You don't have to rewrite the code. That's why we are importing this scanner, that we want to use that code. And how we will be using that scanner class? By creating the object of scanner. How you create an object? Right, scanner, capital S, Java is case sensitive, space, as give it an object name. This name can be anything. I'm writing as input. You can write this at A, B. Usually I'm writing as input. The reason is because I will be using this scanner object to take input from user, so that I know that this is going to be the input scanner. Equals to new is the keyword. Whenever you used or create an object, you use new as a keyword. And what new? It's scanner, parentheses, what the scanner is used for, system.in, and end the statement with a semicolon. Take a look, system.out. System.out is to print it on the console. System.in means I am using the scanner to take input from the user. So now this is the object, you just have to create it once. So, and you can use this input for multiple things, taking input from integer, double, string, 100 times, use the same object to take input as many times you want to take the input from user. You don't need to recreate scanner at multiple times again and again. If you are creating multiple scanner, make sure the object name is different. And we will create multiple scanners like later in week 6, when we will create a scanner for reading the file and the other scanner for taking the input from user. So now, as these are the default values, we will be changing. So whenever there is a statement printed, my name is this, my age is this, my GPA is this. So every time these 3 values, name, GPA, and age, will be different to whatever the user will enter. So how to connect it with the scanner? With the input with Java. So taking input, again, I'm mentioning again and again, there are a couple of steps. This was step 1, import java.util.scanner. This is step 2. Now step 3 is what type of input you want. So again, it's going to be the same int age, but instead of 45, I will remove and say I want whatever the object name is, input dot. As you can see, input dot, what this input is capable of. What type of input I want? Integer type. So I will say next, capital I, int, open, close parentheses, and semicolon. So this age will take an integer type input. Double, GPA, again remove, and I will use the same scanner. Take the input from user, and the input must be next, capital D, double, like this. And for string, remove the name. It's going to be input. Help me take a string from the user. And for string, it's not going to be the next string. As you can see, when you just say dot and next, you can read what this input is capable of. As you can see, there is no next string. It just say for a string input, you just write next, open, close parentheses, and semicolon. And as this is how Now all the inputs are from the user and you have to enter the values in the console. So if I run the code, nothing on the console. Can anyone tell me the reason why there is nothing on the console?
Because there's no input values.
There's no input values. And as a user, because as a programmer, I know that this is waiting for my input. But as a user who have no experience in programming, don't know what this computer looks like at the back end, and I am confused, like what's going on? What should I enter? Can I enter 2.3? No, because it goes in order and it's asking for an age or int type. Can I enter a string? No. So as a for the user, to make it your code more readable and good for every statement, make sure you tell the user, println, make a state whenever you are asking input just before that, so that user know, enter your age, colon, oops, always enter and semicolon, and that statement, then it will take the input. After entering, user will enter, it will pop up another message which will say system.out.println. Now I want your enter your GPA, colon and semicolon, and then bring your system.out.println. I will say it's not the colon, but the quotation marks. Enter your name. You can change the ordering depending on what you're asking first from user, and all the statements must end with a semicolon. As you can see, they are in pairs. I'm asking enter your age, then have my input statement taking the age. Then system.out.println, enter your GPA, then the input statement asking for the GPA or taking the value from the user. Enter your name, and then this, and do I have to change anything in my system.display statement? No, they are all the same variable, so it will work automatically. So now let's run the code and see what happened. Enter your age. So I know what as a user who have no experience in programming, what I have to enter. Enter your age, 23. Enter your GPA, 2.6. Enter your name, Kate. It's going to be Sam. My name is Sam, my age is 23, and my GPA is 2.6. Now run your code again. Enter your age. My age is 67. Enter your GPA. It was 3.5. Enter your name. It's going to be David. And my name is David, my age is 67, and my GPA is 3.5. So every time, as you can see, the importance of variables, and to take the values from user using the scanner. That's how you take values in Java. Any questions so far at this point? Anyone having any errors? Is everyone's codes working? You need to make sure that you check for integer, it's next int. For double, try to fix your errors by yourself. There will be a red cross here on your line numbers. Take your mouse, read it, and fix it. That's how you're gonna learn more of the programming. Anyone having any errors? Any questions you have related to this code? No? Okay.
I have a same error like a first time.
What was it? What was your first error? I don't remember.
In the first time I can run, so it shows the first welcome to Java, and right now I create the new class in the week 2 like a scanner.java, and in this one I run my program, so it shows me the previous one output.
There will be an error in your code. That's why. Share your screen. So your class name, again, you're making the same mistake. Your class name is scanner. Make sure that your class name is the same as listed at the top, which is scanner.java. So you're running the previous class. Remove the class name and give it a name as scanner, and make sure that you don't use keywords as your class names, because that's how it's gonna give more errors, because scanner is a object and it's a class in Java already but it's your small s. So let's try.
Right here in the first program.
Yeah,
or above?
remove this. It's this class name at the top you're creating must be same. You cannot have a different class name.
Right?
Lowercase s. At the top, you have the same class name you have used when you were creating the class. Now run your code.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so who's next? I'm not pronouncing the name right because it's a username. Who wants to share their screen next? Who's having an error? Alex, do you want to go? Okay, share your screen, Alex. And Bayaluddin, Niazi, can we write code line 7 below code line 8? What's that mean? Line 7 below line 8. No, that would not make any sense. You cannot write or ask user before the input statement and then write your Java statement. It will, because it will keep on the same. It will, your console will be empty, waiting for the input, and then as you enter, no, it will not work. Alex, we are waiting. Can you share your screen?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to find the button.
Okay, so same issue with you, Alex. Your class name is different than the class name listed in the code. At the top, okay, stop sharing your screen, everyone. Let me share my screen and let me show you what you need to make sure. Okay, so when, wait, let me move my Zoom bar down. Okay, everyone, make sure that this is your class name. Must be same as one listed here. So my class name is the same, you're copying my code, but you need to make sure that whatever the class you're creating, you cannot change the class name. It must be same, it must match at the top over here, whatever it is showing at this point. Or you need to make sure that it's same. Another way of making sure that it's same is in your package explorer. As you can see on the left side, if I'm clicking first program, so this is whatever is listed over here must be same. I cannot change it to lowercase f. It's going to be an error. I cannot change the spelling like this. I cannot do anything with my class name. It must be same, whatever you have listed here when you were creating the class. Okay.
Okay, so I had changed it because I had misinterpreted a direction that you were giving to another student. But
yeah, so
I
it's
still do
that's why
have-
you have to make sure that whatever you, because I'm using the same class from the last week. So, but it's the same, which I'm listed. But if I'm creating new classes, as you can see, public class operator, I cannot change, say it's not going to be operators, it's going to be just operator, not even a single letter. It's if it's operators, it's going to be operators. Okay. So make sure whatever the class name you are seeing up here on your screen must be same or up in your code over here.
Gotcha. I still do have a different error that comes up.
Okay, take a look.
if
Now
that's
let's
okay.
share your screen. Let's take your different look. Take a look at your different errors. Okay, so you change. Can you increase the size? Input dot next. Read your error. Take your mouse.
It is input cannot be resolved.
Enter your age. Okay, so let's see. So your scanner name is user input. That's fine. Your
Oh.
scanner name must be same what you are taking. So let me
I see.
reshare my screen. Where's my screen? Okay. So going back to my first program where I have my code. So this is the scanner object. This is the one who's gonna helping you throughout your code take the input.
Ah, there
So
it is.
you have to use the same name throughout your code when you're taking the input. By the way, good errors, that's the reason, that's the way it's more easier to tell other students as well that what not to do. So make sure that your scanner, whatever you are giving it a name, if I change it to same as user input, my rest of the lines will be errors because they don't know how what this input is, where this come from. So that's why this is what I'm telling this compiler is this is my scanner input, and that's how it relates. Any other questions so far? We have 1 minute left. I did have a class practice designed for the breakout rooms, but I don't think we will have time for that. But if we have more errors in the classroom, we'd love to see and share your screen and we can fix it right now.
Can you move the sidebar over to your right? When you share screen.
I can show you on my screen. You mean Project Explorer?
No, I just want to see your screen and then like move the sidebar over to the right.
Okay, let me stop my share. Show me your screen.
There's no problem. I just wanted to see your like complete code.
Oh, okay. I thought. Okay, like this.
Yeah,
You want to see the complete code? That's what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
That's why I really want you all to please do the coding with me in the class, whatever I'm doing. After the class, you will receive a bunch of errors. So if you're looking at the errors, by having errors, that's how you're learning more. Trust me.